Okay guys, so we're gonna see what we're getting in the box with the G502X Plus. This was a present from my wife, so thank you to my wife, whom I love. Logitech hybrid switches, light force switches, and these are supposed to be hybrid between regular switches and these new mechanical switches that Logitech is implementing into their mouse. It says that it's a redesigned hyperfast scroll wheel, and the RGB design has changed. So whereas you guys would see normally the RGB was before in the DPI indicator and the actual Logitech logo, it is now going to be throughout this band design, which is located dispersed throughout the mouse. So we're gonna go ahead and slide this bad boy open, and then this is the first time I'm actually opening this, guys. I didn't open it. I want to do this video and open it with you guys, so thank you for being here. Now, immediately what I'm seeing right off the bat is this thing is much lighter than normal. Now, the first thing that I notice between this one and the original G502 Lightspeed is you guys see that there's this kind of claw design where there's this gap in the middle. That is no longer the case in the new mouse. Also, it seems as though they have changed the bottom gliding pieces that are put in here, which is a good thing, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. I personally have had an experience with the G502 Lightspeed where these pads start to come off. If you guys can see there, that part right there would begin to come off, and I actually had to use a lighter and melt it. I don't recommend it, guys, but I do know what I'm doing. So I actually melted because this plastic started becoming jagged, and as I would play, it would become stuck and it would start scratching my mouse mat. Unfortunately, that actually was the case with a couple of different G502 mice that I had, wired and otherwise, where this design of this plastic would just become to chip off and start scratching on the mouse pad. So it's good to see that they changed that. Also, what they took out from the newer model, in this model, the G502X Plus, you no longer have a weight customization. It's empty, guys. Okay, you can no longer do that. So I don't know how people are going to feel about that. We're just gonna have to wait and see if that's gonna be something that Logitech is going to address. To me, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but some people do like customizing their weight. Now for me, I do like mice heavier. I have a total of 8 grams in this Lightspeed. That is no longer the option. So also what you have in here is the dongle for the mouse, and you have the additional key on the side. You can actually remove this DPI switcher here from the mouse, and you can put this filler in here if you do not want to use this button, which is pretty cool. Now I will not be doing that, and I'm going to tell you why. There was actually a time where I craved a button like this one, where it is actually extended out the way that this one is. As you guys can see, it comes out and bends over. The button here on the original and all the Lightspeeds up until this point were just like that. They didn't have this little extension here, which for my thumb, which isn't extraordinarily long, I would actually have to curve my wrist over and push that if I wanted to do that reliably. No longer have to do that, so good on you, Logitech. Under the rest of the packaging, you have a USB-C to USB-A charger cord, and you have an extension junction right here. All right, so one side is USB-C, as you can see right here. The other side is USB-A if you need to use it as a junction, extension, whatever that is available to you. Now, I can tell you guys right now, I'm ready and I immediately feel the difference between these switches. Whereas these are very clicky and responsive, these are stiffer but still just as responsive. So I'm not sure if that's the feel that they were going for, but that's definitely what I'm feeling right off the bat. Not for nothing, guys, I loved, and this is not knocking the Lightspeed, but I do love the feel of the switches on the 502X Plus much more already. Another thing, the conventional design of the scroll wheel is now more of a matte finish, whereas before it was a matte finish wheel type of thing, where it was hollow on the inside. It's just as clicky as it was before, so the only difference I'm seeing here is design, but you still have the left and right wheel function. You have the scroll back and forth, obviously, but this is another thing, guys. So for me, this key right here is something that I tend to key it to things like the ultimate in a game, where it be your ultimate ability in Valorant or Overwatch, whatever it is, they have actually extended that so that you're not any longer grabbing your index finger completely away from your left click and having to go like this. Now you just come over and hit it no matter where your finger is, and that is absolutely cool. So guys, to reiterate, there are pros and cons between the old model and the new model. The biggest one for me is that the weight is no longer customizable. I can see that being a problem for many people, all right? Another thing is that people are saying that they're not really sure if they believe about the longevity. They say that this thing will last for 140 hours under constant usage. Your mileage may vary. There is a corded version of this mouse. It will be significantly cheaper, but then you have to ask yourself, if you're upgrading a mouse and you're moving away from the light speed, why would I get a corded mouse? But other than the weight no longer being customizable, guys, as you can see, when you open up the battery chassis, it's very empty. I tried using the other weights from the other mouse. They won't fit. They're just going to dance around in there. Pointless to even try to do it. So although there is no more weight customization, and it is more expensive than the Lightspeed is now, where the Lightspeed can turn out to be about $149, $139 depending on your retailer, this is going to turn out to be about $10 to $20 more, so that's something to consider. Now, of course, guys, to end this off, we're going to go ahead and talk about the technical specs and what makes this mouse so much better according to the company and not according to me. Now, for the charging, we're talking about USB-C charging, which is what you're going to find on a lot of phones and many hardware peripherals nowadays anyway. On one end, you're going to have the smaller USB-C. The other side is going to be USB-A, which is pretty typical in today's market. According to Logitech, the new feet that are attached here on the bottom, which I mentioned earlier, are called low friction PTFE feet. I'm actually reading because I don't want to get this wrong. The weight is about 3.74 ounces or 106 grams, and it's still operating under what they call the Lightspeed wireless technology. It has up to 5 onboard memory profiles, 2 profiles by default, and 5 by using the Logitech G Hub software available for download at logitech.com. It has 13 programmable controls, 8 zone RGB lighting, and here's where this mouse is supposed to be the major upgrade, guys. They've changed the sensor to the Hero 25K, which is an upgrade over their original sensor that they had in the Logitech Lightspeed. And that sensor isn't even that old, so that should be interesting to see if anyone is actually performing better, and especially shooters, with this mouse in comparison to the other one. As far as DPI, you can go as low as 100 and you can go as high as 25,600 DPI, which is insane. And of course, it is included with what you would normally have: zero smoothing, acceleration, and filtering. But guys, to be completely honest, I am extraordinarily excited for the changes that they've made for 2 huge reasons personally. This extended button on the side, which I use normally, and I do not use it to switch DPI. I use it for in-game functions like character abilities and stuff like that. And even more than that, these new feet, the low friction PTFE feet. The old versions of these would tend to become brittle and sharp, and they would become so sharp that your mouse mat would actually start losing chunks if you weren't careful, which is why I actually had to melt mine. So this is extraordinarily exciting because it shows that they're listening to the consumer. Other than that, guys, I have nothing else to say except thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked what you see, please go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for event notifications, and if this in any way helped inform you on this product, you can go ahead and smash that super thanks too. Everything that you guys do is extraordinarily appreciated. As I always tell you guys, man, be safe, be good, be blessed. I'll see you when I see you, and please remember, guys, that Jesus is king and tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Peace. Have a good one, guys.